Hi, my name is Julia. Welcome to your beginner's course. Today I will be breaking down the warrior postures and poses. These postures and poses help build strength and confidence in your practice, and it helps improve balance and focus. Because we hold so much emotion and stress in our shoulders and our hips, they do a great job at improving mood and increasing positivity. Come to standing with your big toes touching and your heels slightly ajar, maybe hip-width distance. Level your hips over your heels, shoulders over your hips, stacking your head over your shoulders. Noticing that it may want to protrude the belly forward and then gently tuck the tailbone down towards the heels. Grow stable in the right leg and then begin to lift the left leg up as if you were stacking it on a 90-degree box. Hold here, level out the hips. So if anything, since I'm not there to make adjustments for you personally, the thing that I'd like to reiterate is just making sure that this hip is level with the right. So the left sometimes wants to open up, just make sure that we close it and feel the belly pull in and back towards the tailbone. Flex those toes back towards the heel and then gently bring your hands to Anjali Mudra and gently step it back behind you, coming into a nice gentle lunge. So different yoga instructors have different variations on how they like their stance and their feet. So some yoga instructors refer to the warrior one posture of having your right foot close to the edge of the mat and then your left foot close to the edge of the left side of the mat. So that way you can make room in your hips to be able to face the front of the mat. So as you're here, notice the natural tendency for the tailbone to shoot down, back towards the left heel, and then gently try to have the hips down towards the floor. Some yoga instructors like to have a heel-heel alignment, which means the heel of your right foot is really in the middle of the mat, and then the left foot is also at a 45-degree angle in the middle of your mat as well. So notice that it might be a little bit more challenging to get those hips square to the front, but it really elongates this left hip over here. So you could feel from your armpit all the way down to the left heel that the calf is wrapping, the thigh is internally rotating, and it's a little bit more challenging to press energetically this right knee in towards the middle of your body, especially while you're trying to frame the hips towards the front. A nice gentle reminder is that there is no perfect way for you to find this posture in terms of the placement of your feet. We're not trying to make a perfect shape, we're just trying to feel how your body responds to these postures. So if this feels a little bit unstable, then I recommend walking this left foot out back to the first initial posture of your warrior one, to where your toes almost can touch the edges of the mat. But then really notice that the belly wants to protrude forward like we earlier mentioned, and then tucking that tailbone. So just see if you can bend deeply into this left knee, or the right knee rather, because your right knee's in front. And make sure that the right knee is stacked over the right heel and that you are energetically pulling, tracing this right knee in towards the middle. So as we begin to stabilize in the legs, the lower limbs, grounding, feeling almost like the toes are a root system in which we are sucking up this energy from the floor, you can begin to notice your hips. This might be a little bit wonky in the beginning, a little bit unfamiliar, so be sure to take some sways and notice how it feels in these hips. We hold a lot of emotion in these hips, so it's really about how can we send our breath to eliminate some of the anxiety and stress so that we can shoot endorphins back to our brain to allow us to plug into the body. So once we're here, we can begin to lift the arms up towards the sky. Notice how the arms feel in the sockets and take the liberty to make some big round circles, feeling the chest broaden and then also the shoulder blades wanting to crunch together and just loosening up some of the fascic tissue that surrounds the joints. And then when you're ready, you can feel the arms lift up towards the sky and notice this rib cage wanting to open up the belly and open up the rib cage, broadening the heart, deepening our breath into our body. And just allow yourself to have those ribcage pull out towards the front. Notice what happens to your left outside glute. And then, just for gentle body awareness, there's no perfect shape reminder. It is just about when you tuck the tailbone, notice the ribcage wants to close and knit and suck the belly up towards the ribcage, and then also feel the hips wanting to root down into the legs. So be here, soften the shoulders. It's very common for the tendency to rise the shoulders up towards the ears, maybe forget about the legs while you're focusing on the front, and then kind of just be here in this loosey-goosey warrior one. So the challenge really is about feeling it in your body to engage and turn on. Lift the hands, spread the fingers wide, tilt the pinky side edges down. Feel this internal wrapping in your left thigh, and also this nice deep bend in the right leg. Seeing if you can bring the hips into the middle of both legs that are out on the sides. As you're here, you can play with maybe tracing the right leg in and out, and try to find a nice stable stacking over the right ankle. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let it deepen. Notice what happens to the belly and into the legs and into the shoulders. See if you can elongate the skin and the sides of your ears all the way down to your neck. Here's where our adrenals collect a lot of stress, so if we can soften and breathe into that shoulder space, it'll do us so much great goodness throughout our day. And then we'll begin to lower the hands, interlacing the fingers. Lift the chest, broaden the heart, breathe into the lower lungs, maybe soften the shoulders down, eye gaze up towards the ceiling, pull the belly button in, see if you can sink a little lower into your knee. You might be able to lift all 10 toes away from the floor, and then as you exhale, slowly go to where you can come into a humble warrior and pull this right shoulder into right knee into right shoulder, and maybe bend the elbows or bring your hands to the lower back, or bring your fingers out overhead, but be sure to drop the head and neck, bending into that knee, feeling this nice opening on this back side of the right hamstring or back glute or back of the thigh, back of the booty. You can micro bend the elbows, or maybe even place them onto your back or towards your glutes or your booty like you have pockets in your jeans. And then breathe in and feel the belly loosen and contract, and allow the head and neck to go. This might feel so glorious because it's this nice inversion. We're slowing down blood flow. We're slowing down the release of cortisol, our stress response. We're also working on hip flexibility, and we're toning the side bodies and the belly so that we can really notice how the muscles feel. And then when you're ready, you can slowly walk your hands out either in front or to the sides. And notice how when you just make these slight adjustments, this right hip may want to come forward, but we pull it back into space. On an inhale, you can walk your hands back towards your feet, interlace your hands, and then go up the way you went in, slow and steady, feeling all the sensation on our hips. Maybe straighten out this right leg if that feels good. Take any shoulder rolls that you need. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to heart center, gently pivot onto this left foot heel, and then bring this left foot up to meet the right. Pedal it out, shake it all out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brief break so that we can allow the blood flow to regain stability and normalcy in our legs. So however you'd like, you can come into a gentle seat. I'm going to be coming into a nice little kneeling posture position here at the top of my mat. And I'm going to take a deep inhale and exhale. And now I'm going to show you a brief trick to help access these adrenals that help eliminate stress and anxiety in our lives, because we hold so much here in our neck and shoulders. So when you're ready, you can inhale the elbows up to a lateral movement. It feels good across the chest again, and it also feels really nice on the traps and the back parts of our biceps and triceps. And you'll want to take little lobster hands and you will begin to clasp them onto these adrenal spaces where your head, neck, and shoulder all connect. So it's right here almost as if you could feel the muscle from this clavicle right there down towards the lateral part of your back. And you'll inhale and compress, and on a count of maybe 30 seconds, notice when you inhale, it's almost like you're protruding that muscle into your thumb, and you might be able to start feeling your pulse. And then as you exhale, notice it slow down the frequency of your pulse. And then whenever you feel good and ready, you might slowly release and gently lower your elbows. And then shrug the shoulders and be like, oh, there might be some extra space there. I feel it. So then we gave ourselves just a nice little break, and you can bend into the knees and sit down onto your heels and roll out the shoulders, maybe inhale and cactus. Oh, giving yourself this nice little expression on the backside. You have your lower lumbar, and then you have your thoracic that's right here in the middle, and then you have your cerebral spine that's up here by your head and neck. And so really making sure that when you cactus, you're getting into that middle back, and then when you're doing your lobster work, you're getting into that cerebral spine. So now we're going to begin on slowly coming up from your kneeling or your gentle seat, and we're going to continue throughout this course with Warrior One on our right side. So similar to how we increased and plugged into our body to begin to be stabilizing on the right side when we were lifting our left, we're going to stabilize into the left and stack all of the joints and major muscle groups upon one another, and then inhale the right leg up, flex those toes, maybe spread them out wide, and have this knee come to a 90-degree angle on an invisible box. Bring your hands to heart center, and then slowly kick that heel into its glute, and gently you step back. Go as slow as you need, as gentle as you need, and then notice the feet alignment on the left side. So if you'd like to try to see if you can bring your heels closer together, this is purely for just sensation. You can feel a deeper stretch into the calf. You can also feel that the hips are giving this outer thigh a more deeper internal rotation. And you might feel the shake. Oh, this feels a little foreign. And that's okay. We're just trying to access different ways to move the body. That's really about making sure that we build body awareness, and that we're not just doing 1, 2, 3 in our day of sitting, standing, walking. We're moving these body muscle groups, and we're getting into the joints. So as we're building this foundation on the right side with the left leg in front, notice how you like your alignment, maybe heel toe or heel heel, or maybe widths of your mat, so that your hips can gently protrude in and you can square them to the front. I can feel this right leg turning on because it's shaking, right? And that's okay. Let the shakes be just a gentle reminder that this is something new or it's something that's engaging. And you can begin to lift all 10 toes and fire up these thighs. And as you are here sinking into your hips, you can slowly bring those arms up again, softening the shoulders, pulling the belly button back, sinking the hips to where that left knee stacks over the left ankle. We'll begin to continue through the humble warrior integration that we did on the opposite side. So while you're here, you can gently lower your arms, interlace your hands. I recommend doing the opposite way that you did before. So if you did left thumb over right, maybe you'll try right over left this time. And then lift the chest, feel the broadening of the heart, broadening of the lungs. Breathe into the lower bottom part of your lungs and into the hips, and that helps really elongate your breath and really almost nourishing your body with that oxygen. So as you inhale, maybe stack the head over the neck, and then pull the belly button back, and then remembering hinging at the hips like a door rather than hinging at the back. This is bus stop number 2. See if maybe that the heels of the hands can come closer together, and as you exhale down, try to take this left knee closer in towards this left shoulder, and then allow the head and neck to completely release. If you feel that you're dumping into this left hip, Maybe you make this slight minor adjustment of trying to bring your head towards the middle of the mat, head and neck, maybe crown of the neck grazing down, and looking at that back right heel, pulling the legs together and letting it all go. As you're here, you can slowly release the arms and walk them out, maybe towards the front, softening the shoulders again, or over towards the right corner of the mat. Gently releasing into the posture, allowing your hips to get some attention, and noticing that you want to get that Goldilocks effect of not too tight, but also not to where it's easy or lackadaisical. It's really intentional. And then walking the hands back, bringing the hands back into their interlaced grip, and then slowly coming up and allowing this back to feel strong and straight, tailbone shooting down. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands in towards center, thumbs press in, and then circling and pivoting that back right heel to where this heel is pointing forward, and then bending into the left leg and bringing it up to meet the left. Bring the feet together, maybe walk it out. Sigh a big relief because we got into those legs and hips, and notice that when we bend the knees a little bit, the legs might shake. That's okay, they got some good activation. And you can walk out the legs, walk it out. Inhale and exhale. Let's take a moment. However you'd like, maybe you'd like to come to a seat again. I am going to come into a yogi squat before we get into our warrior two on the left side. So however you'd like, you can gently come into a nice expression that really activates the hips again. And then slowly come up. Be careful on your knees so that the feet are pointing to a 45-degree angle. And then we'll walk our feet back close together, big toes touch. Begin to breathe deeply, anchoring you back down, centering, allowing that breath to deepen. And then ask yourself, when was the last time that you took a really deep breath for your day? We always tend to take deep breaths when we're in times of stress or hysteria, and notice that you can breathe deeply to eliminate stress and anxiety anytime you feel these shoulders creep up closer towards your ears. Now we're going to get into the other warriors. And as we begin to focus on stabilizing the right leg, we're going to begin to lift the left leg and hover it on a box similarly to what we did earlier, flexing the left toes back towards the knee. Be sure to square off the hip, and even though this isn't in chronological order, you're already doing, as you transition back into your warrior one again, the warrior three foundations. You're extending through that left heel, you're lowering your upper body down to be a straight T with your body, and slowly allowing the hands to come forward, softening the shoulders, and then internally rotating this right standing thigh. As you're here, you might notice that it helps to bend this right leg, but it might also include and ensure some shaking. Let that be okay as you flex the toes, point the toes, and then keep these hips stacked as you begin to use the glute and this back thigh to lift this left leg higher. As you begin to extend, feel a stretch as if someone was grabbing your wrist and your left ankle, and then bring your hand to heart center and gently step this left leg back. You're in your warrior one, just so that you can see and feel and notice the alignment of your feet as you gently open up this left arm to widen out your stance in your warrior two. So as I said before in our warrior one, it's not about making this shape, it's really about how it feels. So if your feet are closer together because these hips feel really tight and you're getting a nice slight bend into your front right leg, that's okay. The only thing I'd really like us to focus on is this, I like to call it this corset of our body. When we're in our warrior two, the general tendency is to allow this corset to shoot back towards that heel, similarly to the warrior one. We want to shoot it down in between our legs. So if this is as wide as you can go, instead of having the ankles stacked underneath the wrists, that's a-okay. I just want us to feel this pulling of the hips together, the pulling of the legs together, maybe lifting all 10 toes. So then when you're here, you might notice that there's a general tendency to pull the chest forward. Try to stack those shoulders over the hips again, as if you were building a great foundation. So for me, I'm going to widen out these legs just a little bit more so I can sit a little deeper into my warrior two and have this nice heel arch or heel alignment. As I'm here, I can feel this nice wrapping of this left leg, elongating my inner hip flexor, and then feeling the tailbone shooting down towards the floor. The natural tendency also, like I said, was the shoulder pulling forward, broadening the chest, sucking the belly in. This is your warrior two. Maybe you look over the right fingertips. Maybe you envision this right leg coming forward or inside towards this left side of the mat. Hold here and allow yourself to soften in areas that are holding stress. Notice if your ears and neck are close together. Try to elongate. And then we'll slowly begin to pivot on that right heel and heel toe our legs into a nice gentle stance. So we'll begin to back it at the top of our mat again to go over it on the other side so that you can see a vantage point from how it looks from behind. And the tailbone will be really clear from that angle. So as you're here, same thing, plug stability into this left leg, feel long, straight, strong, building muscle tension and muscle tones. And then as you begin to inhale the right leg up, flex those right toes back towards the knee. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Begin to transition into your warrior three on your way to warrior one. Warrior three is just making a T with your body, making sure that we're not stacking that right hip over the left, but that they're square to the mat and we're sucking the belly in, softening the shoulders, flexing the toes, pointing the toes, and lifting from the glute and the hamstring rather than making it easy on ourselves by opening up that hip. And when you feel good, balanced, and spry, soften on an exhale and bring your hands to heart center. Bend into the left knee and gently place your right foot down onto the mat. Notice that you're in your warrior one. Bend into the left knee, feel strong and good in this quadricep or upper thigh, and then begin to sweep this right arm open, heel toe to where you feel a good alignment in your feet, ideally heel arch or heel alignment, and then allow this left knee to stack over the left ankle. Notice that my hips aren't shooting out towards the back wall. They're also not concaving, shooting my hips forward, but they're trying to find this equal balance in between my legs. As I'm here, notice that as my breath gets short and choppy, my tendency of my shoulders want to rise, and I want to soften and elongate my spine to really be able to have stability and strength in my core and my spine so that I can eliminate any type of back concaving, back convexing that can really eliminate injury. And so soften, energetically pull the heels together. And when you're ready, you can slowly begin to pivot the left heel towards the parallelness of your right back foot, and then step to meet up at the front of your mat, coming to a close of your warrior one, warrior two, and warrior three. Now that you're familiar with all three warriors, I'm going to take the opportunity to really highlight them in their entirety and the features that they have that could benefit you. If your legs are already feeling exhausted, please feel free to just go ahead and watch this series of this flow. So when we begin, we're going to stand in a nice, happy, and intentional stance. We're going to slowly lift the left leg up, flex the toes back towards the knee, square off the hips, stabilize the shoulders and the head. Bring the hands to heart center, slowly kick this left heel in towards the glute. Keep everything as almost this was like a pendulum. Keep it all in one line and then begin to kick the left heel or left toes back towards the wall behind you, maybe lowering the upper body first as you begin to elongate the arms, feeling this nice extension, this T-like shape in your warrior three. Begin to maybe lift the back or lift the front or the standing right toes away from the mat so that all four corners of your feet begin to stabilize onto the mat. And then outreach the arms, soften the shoulders. Begin to bend into maybe both knees, but especially the right, and then begin to drop that left foot down onto the mat. Make your left foot to a 45-degree angle. If you want, you can open up the hips and the legs so that your hips can gently sit deeply into this posture. Remember that the belly wants to move forward. Make it into this nice, strong, straight line so that you really protect the lumbar spine, thoracic, and cerebral spine. As you're here, take an inhale and exhale. Maybe you lift your arms up into your warrior one, pulling the shoulders up towards your ears and then softening. And then begin to take the left arm back behind you. So in your warrior one, you had a 45-degree angle with your back left foot. Maybe you heel toe this front right foot in towards the middle of your mat, and you begin to bring this left foot back a little bit deeper and make a 90-degree angle parallel to the back of your mat rather than this 45-degree angle. So notice what that does for your hip. If your left foot is coming to a 45-degree angle, this left hip wants to move forward like so, almost in a deeper warrior one. But when we want to open it so that the legs and hips open to a parallel to the back, it means the hips have to shoot down towards the mat. Energetically pull them together, suck the belly in, soften the shoulders, stack the shoulders over the hips, elongate the arms, maybe the feet come directly underneath the wrists, and allow yourself to soften the shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Hold for the exhale. Woo. Feel that back body turn on. And then when you're ready, you can pivot on that front right knee. And you're in your wide angle forward fold if you decide to choose to do that. Or you can begin to heel toe the feet and come into the malasana that we took in that break before the warrior two and warrior three. Do whatever you need to walk out those legs, send oxygenated blood back into those joints and hips and all the connections in your body. And realize that in yoga, we just move the hips, the body, the legs, the arms, so that we really allow this nice natural organic blood flow to reach all of those muscle groups, to heal them from the inside out and to eliminate stress and anxiety. I invite you to do the other side if you were just flowing with me throughout that last final sequence. I hope you're feeling strong and confident. And if you came to your mat with stress, I hope you feel better. Please recall that adrenal trick to alleviate tension in the shoulders and the neck. And I hope to see you in the next video.
We at Wellness Plus specialize in all things health and wellness, ranging from yoga and fitness to massage and ASMR. Whether you are looking to target specific areas of tension or want to enhance your general self-care routine, we provide the tools you need to feel better, look better, and live better. We have courses for every level, whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro. Our courses provide a wide range in difficulty to accommodate your evolving flow.
Welcome back to Yoga with Jess. We are going to break down some really essential postures.
We are going to rock out with some of the most essential ab exercises that you need to have the abs that you've always dreamed of.
I've blended techniques to help you connect with students, and you can be a rock star teacher.
Wellness Plus is available on your phone, tablet, or TV. Join Wellness Plus today and get your first 7 days free.